As the midterms draw closer, both Republicans and Democrats are fighting to hold their parties together. Republicans divided over the war came together yesterday after a contentious meeting with President Trump.
Meanwhile, the Democrats are facing a growing political chasm over socialism and support for Israel. Gary Lane reports.
President Trump came to Capitol Hill to sign a bipartisan housing bill, but instead announced he won't sign the legislation until Congress passes his election integrity law. In a lunch meeting with Senate Republicans, a shouting match broke out over GOP support for a resolution blocking the war in Iran. Afterwards, Trump declared all is well within the party.
We like our leader. We like everybody really in the room. I don't like a few people, but that's okay. For the most part, we have a really well-unified party.
Later, Republicans reversed course and voted against the Iran war powers resolution. Meanwhile, Democrats are facing their own divide after 3 socialist candidates beat out establishment Democrats in the New York primaries and may be headed for Congress. New York Socialist Mayor Zohran Mamdani endorsed all 3: Claire Valdez, Daria-Liza Avila-Chevalier, and Brad Lander.
This is a straight-up battle between the establishment and the insurgency, and the establishment is getting its butt kicked tonight in New York City.
Lander admits Democrats are divided over Israel and Gaza.
Our party needs to admit that Joe Biden's Hug Bibi strategy was a catastrophic failure. I believe it made us complicit in genocide.
Both Claire Valdez and Daria-Liza Avila-Chevalier refer to Israel as an occupier and an apartheid state. At Chevalier's victory rally, supporters changed anti-Israel slogans. Pro-Israel Democrat Senator John Fetterman predicts more to come, with Democratic socialists hating on Israel and declaring war on regular Democrats.
These are emerging, the full pro-Hamas wing. You know, you have candidates, they abolish ICE, abolish the police, abolish the border. You know, with some of these candidates are outrageous.
Gary Lane, CBN News.
Well, congratulations to the Republicans for actually hanging together. We're in the middle of negotiations with the Iranian regime. They are theocrats. They firmly believe in their jihad, and they firmly believe we're the great Satan, Israel's the little Satan. They firmly believe the United States of America is the only thing standing between them and world domination. So in the middle of those negotiations, to have some kind of vote in the U.S. Senate that would take the war power away from the president right in the middle of the negotiation, it absolutely made no sense to me. So congratulations on holding together. The Republican Guard is never going to be our friend, never going to be our ally. And anyone who ever thinks that, I don't know, have you not been paying attention to the last 47 years? So let's please finish this, however the negotiations turn out. My dream was a true regime change where the people of Iran would end up controlling their own government. They've been in revolution 5 times in the past 10 years, and I thought this time they would finally prevail. We'll see on that. We'll have to give it, obviously, a little more time. On the other side, I don't understand the Democrats. We had candidates saying we're in solidarity with Cuba, we're in solidarity with Venezuela. Do you have any idea what the population of Cuba and Venezuela have been dealing with? The prolonged poverty that socialism has introduced into their countries, the exodus, mass exodus of people from Venezuela. There was a really good reason for that, and it was their government. To see that kind of view prevailing in a primary right here in the United States, I mean, yes, we can say, okay, well, somehow New York City has gone crazy, but if that is the future of the Democrat Party, I don't view that as a very strong future. Well, in other news, turning to Venezuela, it's now in a state of emergency after 2 incredible earthquakes struck within 1 minute of each other. Ephraim Graham has that story and more from the CBN newsroom. Ephraim?
Gordon, at least 164 people are dead, and there are fears that number could rise to the thousands. The back-to-back earthquake struck near Venezuela's northern coast, a 7.2 quake followed by a 7.5 quake just 39 seconds later and only miles apart. People ran into the streets of Caracas, the capital, as buildings swayed and some collapsed. Rescue teams are working to find survivors. These are the largest quakes to hit Venezuela in more than 100 years. President Donald Trump is pledging assistance, posting, "The U.S. is ready, willing, and able to help." Earthquake struck two other countries yesterday as well. A 7.2 quake hit off the coast of Japan. No major damage reported and no tsunami alert issued. Here in the United States, a 5.6 magnitude quake shook Northern California, lasting about 30 seconds. It rattled buildings and sent groceries and wine bottles crashing to the floor of this store you see here. It is the worst quake the area has felt in 40 years. A recent paper in the Journal of Geophysical Research says Southern California is at risk of a major quake. Accumulative stress in the Earth's crust is raising concerns of the potential for a, quote, massive rupture in the Los Angeles area. CBN's Operation Blessing is delivering hope and help to victims of a quake that devastated southern Philippines 2 weeks ago. Relief workers had trouble reaching an indigenous tribe living in a remote mountain village. Lucille Toulousan shows us how Operation Blessing became the answer to their prayers.
For decades, the Blaan tribe lived peacefully in Lao, Sarangani province. Then the 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck and destroyed their village.
I was so afraid. I cried out to the Lord for help. I grabbed my children and we ran to the plaza. Our house collapsed and the ground cracked everywhere.
It was too dangerous to stay because the ground had opened up with wide cracks. We left our homes and moved to a safer area. But there, we lacked food because landslides had washed away our crops. Getting help was difficult because the landslides cut us off and destroyed the roads.
Village teacher Jojo Blatang was in the town proper when the quake hit. He quickly traveled by motorcycle as far as he could go, then walked up the mountain to check on his students and their families. Jojo became their only link to the outside world.
I saw how miserable their situation was. They were living in makeshift shelters. I posted photos on Facebook and asked for help. People donated food, but they still needed much more.
A relative in Manila reached out to Operation Blessing for help. An Operation Blessing team connected with teacher Jojo, who guided them through rough terrain and river crossings to the nearest point accessible by land. There, they distributed relief supplies to all 53 families.
These people had to walk for 2 hours through the mountain just to be here, to be able to receive the relief goods that Operation Blessing is giving them. It's been almost 2 weeks since the earthquake struck, but they're saying that this is the first time that an organization has come to be able to reach them and give them much assistance, and that is Operation Blessing.
Before receiving their supplies, the Christian tribe worshipped, thanking God for His goodness. An Operation Blessing church partner prayed for them, reminding them that their greatest blessing is their survival, and that God would remain faithful through their hardships.
You are a big answer to their prayers. I never expected you would give them so much. Seeing their faces filled with joy makes me so happy. I'm sorry if I told you there was only one stream to cross, when in reality we crossed the river 23 times. I was afraid you might back out, but despite all the difficulties, you still came, and that showed me your heart to truly want to help.
We received mats, blankets, canned goods and rice, solar lamps and tents. This is the first time we received this kind of big blessing. Operation Blessing, thank you.
It is God who brought you here because normally relief goods are delivered by helicopter. We thank God for using you to help us, especially for providing tents. We are safer and more comfortable now.
For the Blaan tribe, these relief supplies are more than emergency aid. They are a reminder that even in the most remote places, God takes care of His children. Lucille Talusan, CBN News, Sarangani, Philippines.
Don't know if you heard that Operation Blessing crossed the river 23 times, and we can report that all 53 of those families received a tent. Gordon?
That's wonderful news. And that's all because of you, because of your support for Operation Blessing. If you're a member of the 700 Club, you're part of that outreach. If you're not a member and you want to give into the Operation Blessing Disaster Relief Fund, it's real simple. You pick up a phone, you call us, 1-800-700-7000. Our disaster relief teams are getting ready to deploy to Venezuela. You just saw the work in a very remote area of the Philippines. It's all being done in your name if you're a donor to this wonderful fund or a donor to CBN. So if you want to designate your gift to disaster relief, a lot of different ways you can do it. You can write to CBN Center, Virginia Beach, Virginia, 23463, and just put disaster relief in the memo line of a check. You can text OBDR to 51555. We'll send you a link to a giving page. You can use that QR code, or you can go to cbn.com or ob.org. Either way, do it now and be a part of relief. When disasters strike, and they seem to be striking quite regularly these days, we want to strike back with love and compassion to let people know that God loves them, we love them too, and we want to be with them in their time of need. So call us, 1-800-700-7000.